Hey folks, how you doing? So yesterday I posted a video about the wedge that I thought was happening, and particularly around these buy lines, which are upwardly ascending lines that you see buying on. And when you get sort of three or more touches, they often get broken, and the price behavior after that can be quite interesting and useful to watch closely when you're trading. So if we look at what happened here, let's set this off. So price action was moving on, and then you can see it came down and touched that buy line again. So you're thinking, okay, it's respected that buy line, but what's going to happen when it touches it again? And we go on, and you can see we broke through. This is when it gets important. What's going to happen now? Is it going to capitulate quite heavily, or is it going to hold its own? And you could see with the Market Cipher here, this is on the 15-minute, we'd had these two green dots, which are indicative of bottoms starting to appear. I don't think you should trade off them specifically on the 15 minutes, but there's an indication there that things aren't just going to fall over. So as we continue, we see, actually, look, it hasn't fallen over. It's come back up slightly. And there was actually a trigger wave, if you can see, on the 15 minutes there of the Market Cipher. But I wouldn't be taking that because, I don't know, I just wouldn't. If we carry on slightly, now, here, this is interesting. So if you're watching the Market Cipher, what would you have said here? You'd said, well, hold on a second. It's broken this buy line. It hasn't fallen greatly. We've seen two further trigger waves, but most importantly now you're seeing that certainly that money flow start to go northwards. So there's a point where actually you could buy, and it's having the confidence to identify that and pull the trigger, frankly. And then you watch what happens with the price action now. And away it goes as that money flow starts to come into the green. And where we are now, you can see that money flow coming away slightly. So where does that leave us? Are we still in the wedge or not? I'll just redraw that in the moment and add some comment. Yeah, so this is how I draw the wedge now. And I think it's really interesting price behavior at the moment now, because frankly we don't know what's going to happen. We've got this 50,000 here, which is a crucial level. Now, one or two things are going to happen. Either it's going to come down on the wedge, it's not going to get away, it's going to try and get up to the 50, and then we're going to have a big release of pressure. Or it's going to just break through that. No one knows. All you can do is watch. So, I'm watching the money flow as well. It might even, and what I'd hope is that we get sort of a come down wave here and it builds up some pressure and then goes. That's another option. And if we did see that, we'd see the money flow come down into the red again and build up and see some trigger waves. So I'm also watching Cardano here because this is on a pullback, and on the hourly we've just started to go into the red on the money flow, and the RSI is green, starting to be a little oversold. So I'm waiting for this sort of money flow to top out and start to shape back up, and watching the price action with it to make sure that it starts almost basing out and not going too low. And if I go on to the 30 minutes, you can see we've got some signal of some bottoming here. So that's interesting, and the money flows increasing. So I'm just going to wait. Start looking at the lower time frames, maybe to see if that money flow starts to turn the other direction, and then I'm going to go in with some leverage. I don't want to miss this one. I feel quite strongly about it, particularly if BTC has a run for that 50,000 and goes beyond. Anyway, that's the story of the day. Hope you're all well.